Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm Mike Stansbury. Today we have a very special guest, Larry Tuck. Tuck with a H, not with a K, but it sounds like Tuck with a K. So I have to get that right because, you know, it's just part of my shtick here. It's like I want to make sure I get that name right. I was gonna butcher it. Larry, how are you, sir?
Doing good. Thanks for having me. Yeah, the last name, although it's 4 letters, it's German, and not too many people get it right on the first try. So okay.
Yeah, I got people. My last name is Stansbury. I get called Stansbury, so I share that with you. But you know, just got to have good humor about it. Well, guys, at Investor Fuel, help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their business to allow them to build the businesses they've always wanted and live the lives they've always dreamed of. Larry, welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I want to ask you, tell us a little bit about your origin story. When did you start investing in real estate? And how did that all happen?
Yeah, so I have a pretty interesting story in the fact that my background is data engineering, and I really lived paycheck to paycheck for 18 years. And it wasn't one of those things where I wasn't making enough money. I made enough money, but it's basically I made too much money to be that broke, right? I was spending it on garbage, you know? So after 18 years, just didn't have the right mindset in those terms. And, you know, before I was all about materialism and, you know, things. And, you know, I've done a lot of mindset work and switched to more relationships and experiences. So after those 18 years, I was like, there's so many people doing real estate, and they're doing fairly well at it. So I'm like, shoot, if 90% of 7-figure earners come from the real estate investing industry, why not me? Right. So that was my thought process. That was my mindset. And I went head first into a mastermind after maybe 6 months to a year of just watching videos, reading books. And I'm just like, I can't just have the head knowledge. I have to have the expertise. I have to put it to action, right? So I went into a mastermind for 2 years, and I think the first part of it was, I don't know if it was imposter syndrome or whatnot.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
But it's just like, it took me like 6-7 months to actually get a deal. And it's just like, wow, this is this is not as easy as it looks. Number one, but number two, once you have enough reps and enough knowledge and people around you, your deals come more frequent and they get better and better. Not every deal is the same, and even after that 7 months, it was only a few months after I got my second deal. So within the 2-year time frame, I think I got about 3 or 4 deals. And then, afterwards, I just kind of branched off on my own. I had enough education to know what to do. I knew a lot of people in the industry. And so I just started, to me, I was never an operational type of guy because I knew how to get money fairly quickly, whether it's my own or if I had to borrow it, and use that for my syndications and being a limited partner.
So yeah, tell me a little bit about that. So you do your first deal, and then you have momentum. That first deal is obviously critical for people.
Yep.
And then you get your second deal pretty close after that. But syndications, when anybody talks about syndications, I've been exposed to it, but it just seems so complicated. You got all these multiple people involved, LPs, GPs. How did you wrap your mind around that, where you're able to get into some of those deals, or even birth a syndication? What did that look like for you?
Yeah, so I knew, well, I feel like the first deal was the foundation. And after that, I kept doing joint ventures. But my first deal, I didn't have that cash laying around. So um, I I kind of went on a leap of faith in the fact that you can borrow from your 401k because I had no other money. And at that point, I was going against all I knew that was good and correct. But like I knew if I didn't change my ways, then nothing's going to change result wise. So, I did it. And, we still have this property today. We got it back in July of 2001. So going on 4 years. A great first investment. But yeah, so like I got probably 2 or 3 more joint ventures, and then I was looking at syndications because I didn't, not that I had a lot of work to do with a joint venture and that type of thing, just because I love analyzing numbers. I like the whole team camaraderie, but I feel like if I want to get into bigger and better and more returns for a deal, then I had to think outside the box a little bit. So I um, I went on LinkedIn, and anywhere I did a search, um, that said indicator, like I either followed them or I set up a meeting with them because I'm still working on my accreditation. I'm not there yet, but like as we all know, for a 506B, I think you can only have a certain amount of non-credited investors in a deal, and it's what they call like the family and friends type of thing, where there has to be a pre-established relationship.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Before you even know about the deal, per SEC rules. So I did whatever it took to get those relationships and meet with these people. And after the first meeting, it's just like, the door is open. Like, okay, what markets are you in? What type of deals are you looking at? That type of thing. I still continue to watch videos and read books and learn more about syndications and different things when you get a an OM or a investor packet. There's just so much. It's just like, oh man, where do I start? So it's just break it down a little bit at a time, and I'm still going that route.
Yeah. So what was the solution? So when you met with these folks, right? What was your, I don't like to say pitch, but what solution were you providing to them, and what how did you make your pitch or talk to them about, hey, this is the problem that I can solve and help you with? Larry, one of the things that we haven't talked about yet is you still are you're in the data engineering world. You're very analytical. Obviously, engineers. It's a part of my brain that shuts down, the one that you spin up every day.
Yeah.
Yes, I love numbers, but one of the things that I'm very it can be good and bad is I take a lot of action, sometimes too much. But I need that analytical part of me and I need other people's analytical part of me to make sure that I'm doing the right deal. So kind of tell us about that. What was the problem that you saw for these folks to say, yeah, I'd like to be part of your group, your syndication, or I think I need your help?
Yeah. So to me, with a syndication, you're kind of just a silent partner or a limited partner. Not that you couldn't be a GP because they're the operations, but the goal for me was I'm looking for an awesome deal to put money in and get some returns and just keep rinsing and repeating, in terms of those deals. So, I looked at, I looked at the numbers, I looked at the equity multiple. I'm fairly open as far as markets go. Like, I don't want it to be, I want there to be enough meat on the bone for everybody in the deal. And I want it to be landlord friendly as opposed to not landlord friendly. So,
Right. Yeah.
Right. So, these are some of the things that I looked at. In these types of deals, you have, general partners that have already done the work for you and numbers, and it gives you a chance to ask any questions on the deal before you do like a hard or a soft commit. And everyone that I have dealt with and that I have partnered up with, they've been bend over backwards to answer all your questions, and and it's, to me, I look at it as like I invest in strategies, and behind those strategies, there's people. So I'm really investing in people, not necessarily buildings or properties, because if the people weren't there, then the properties, it kind of goes hand in hand. So, yeah.
Yeah, so so you kind of zeroed in. Hey, I'm looking for these types of deals. You looked on LinkedIn. You kind of filtered through some syndicators, some people that were in that and you could tell by looking at their bio and maybe some of the other people that they were associated with that, hey, these folks are the ones I need to talk to. You weren't getting cold emails or cold marketing about syndications. You were actually going after the people that once you put your analytical mind, your engineering mind, and said, okay. This person doesn't have a fake LinkedIn profile. They have actually They have a lot of equity. They look like they.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
They know what they're doing. Then you talk to them and you verify the information, and you're like, okay, this is somebody that I can deal with, and then they send you the deals. They send you the sheets, and you look at them and you're like, okay, yes or no. So that's a fantastic way for somebody to really take a hold of their finances, because you and I both know that the cold calling and the texting is pretty wild out there. But your premise of, I'll just go after the people that are really know what they're doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And don't get me wrong. There's people out there that look like they have it together, and they really don't. But like I want to either qualify myself or disqualify myself to work with them. And I'm sure if they're legit, they're probably doing the same thing with me and others. So yeah, and even though I'm analytical and other people are not, like I feel like I need those people just as well as they need me, because I may be a nerd when it comes to like finances or money or that kind of thing, but I need to leverage their expertise in the operational standpoint, because I've learned so much just talking to them and understanding what they go after and what kind of things. And like I said, they're more than open about answering questions and how things work, and it's just a great experience. So
yeah, I can imagine that you may have helped them with clarify their offers, right? With the amount of questions that you have with their offers. I can already tell that just by just by your bio, and so you feel like you're a value add when you're on their team, when you're investing in them. You feel like you're a value add with what you can bring to the table. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. Sometimes I try to plan like I'm having a couple of my properties that sell per year, and sometimes things don't go as planned. For instance, I had a closing that was supposed to be happening in like January, and then weather permitting, like I had to pass on an awesome deal. But it's just one of those things that time is of the essence, and that just wasn't meant to be. So I'm still in talks with that same syndicated group to talk about future deals. But yeah, sometimes you make plans and God's like, no, not not so much.
That's right. Yes. He has a tendency to do that. We say, what, I think we're going to go this way, and then he's like, no, actually, going to go that way. So yeah. I get that. And have you done multiple deals with the same syndicator or syndicate?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, I have. I've the funny thing is one of the ladies out of Houston was in my same mastermind, and I kept in touch with her, and she hooked up with a group that did a couple different syndications. And yeah, I mean, I'm still in those syndications, and those were great deals. And I'm sure it's on average 3 to 5 year hold. So just a matter of when it's time, or when it's a good time to sell, it's just selling that, putting that into a cash value life insurance policy, and then borrowing that money into my next deal. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
So you talked about this a little bit. We talked about this, but the power of a mastermind. You were part of a mastermind. Kind of describe what that mastermind was. What did you learn from it? What is your opinion on joining a mastermind?
Oh yeah, I mean, a mastermind. Again, like at first, when you're not sure what to expect, there's so much going on, and to me it was like imposter syndrome at first, but after a while, I had some coaching, and it's just like I can't compare my level 1 to someone else's level 10. You just can't. So what I have done and what I've taught my kids to do is you always have your baseline year or your baseline premise. And after that baseline, whether it's your first year, your first 6 months, you measure that first year or that first 6 months to the next 6 months. And don't compare yourself to others, just compare to yourself now to where you were and where you're going. So, I got a lot of great group coaching. There's nothing else like a mastermind. You have to have a mentorship program. I think Jim Rohn said it best. You want to hang out with, or you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with most, right? So if you're the smartest in the group, you need a new group, right?
Right.
So, that was my intention. I want to hang around with people that are doing things that I dreamed of or that I want to get to. And that's the only way you get to that place, because they share ideas. There's a lot of brainstorming. Like we talked before, like each single year of that mastermind, like they 20x'd my money. I'm not saying all masterminds are created equal, but like I have nothing but the best things to say and about masterminds. And you're as good as fast as you want to go. I think there's another proverb that really holds true. If you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with a team. So I want to go far. So
Right.
choose to build a team and, great team members that work well together. And, I learned all of that education and all of that set up through the mastermind as well. So, yeah, it's, go to as many masterminds as you can. That's going to challenge you, and conferences are great as well. But yeah, if anyone's a fan of Napoleon Hill, he was a man before his time. He absolutely was like, mastermind is the way to go. So I'm a big fan.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where if you've never been in one before, it's kind of intimidating. You're right. I think everybody goes through that imposter syndrome, especially when you get in a mastermind, because sometimes you come in and you think, oh, I think I know something. And then you're hit with, oh, these people have been doing it a while. I'd like to get to where they are. And you have a choice. You got to either be humble, come in and kind of know where you're at, or shrink back. And I think the people that just kind of go with I'm going to humble myself, I'm going to learn from these people.
Yeah.
Boy, you just have primed yourself to go really, really, like you said, far. If you can get there. And that's what most I've been involved in multiple masterminds, and that is what's happened in each one of them. Is that okay? I thought I knew what I know. This guy over here knows a lot more than me. I need to shut up. So,
yeah,
and it's been good. So I'm glad that you had that experience. For people, I think that most people There are, I think there are two types of masterminds. I've paid for a lot of my masterminds, but I've been impacted on masterminds that were unpaid just because I'm in a room with people, like you said, that the average is way better. The people are, that they know a lot more than me, and they can offer a lot more than me. I've had breakfast with men in their 70s, and just asking them questions about, hey, tell me a little bit about your life story, and then just been blown away by just a little breakfast mastermind, and taking some nuggets about life from them. So the mastermind thing, Larry, I think you've had that experience. I think our audience needs to understand is like, you need to be seeking out mentorships and possibly a good mastermind to help you in your business. So Larry, let's talk about the Abundant Wallet. What is the Abundant Wallet? How does it help people? If somebody was, what problem does it solve in the marketplace? Tell us about the thing that you are most excited about the Abundant Wallet.
Yeah, so I founded the Abundant Wallet just because I wanted an easy way for people to get to their next financial level. So not just clients, but businesses as well. So I know there weren't when I started, there weren't a lot of things out there that like held your hand or told you what this did. And there's a lot of not all like financial advisors or strategists are created equal, because um, I've been burned um, as a client. Um, so before I was a financial strategist, I was a client and I was putting my money into cash value life insurance, and maybe it wasn't structured the right way, so I got burned that way. And people kept telling me, "Oh, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint." And it's just like, "Oh, geez, okay." You live and you learn. I'm now in a lot of great cash value life insurance policies to where I'm living way below my means. I'm putting just about 40 or 50% of my income in these policies. And these policies, it's like a savings account on steroids. The returns are like 5 to 10% year over year. And, if you front load these policies with some of your properties that sell, you just keep doing the same thing. And while you're borrowing that money to put into a new deal, you're not take it's not it's not a taxable event. But your dollar is working twice as hard as you are, right? And you're not trading time for money. It's more of a passive, semi-passive thing. But yeah, I just want to help people get to their next level, and look at some smart financial uh, uh, tools that you can use. A lot of these types of tools, it has zero floor. So if you're not really afraid of the market now, but just kind of like on the fence of what you should do, like, um, you know, um, this to me is a lot safer than the stock market. And it's a lot better returns than a traditional bank. So it's kind of like right in the middle, right? You're not on one extreme or the other.
Right.
So I've had a lot of luck in 4 short years. My girlfriend and I have done this, and even though we made some mistakes with maybe going through a bad policy or a bad agent, we were able to acquire 10 properties in 4 years, and we're still building. I kind of I kind of took a book or a page out of Brandon Turner's book, like, start slow. Whatever property you get the first year, just keep doubling it every year. So, I went from 1, 2, 4, 8. Um, God willing, I can get to 16 this year, but if not, we'll get pretty close. But yeah, so I think the Abundant Wallet is, creating content and videos and blogs and something that will help others look at all the options, not maybe not where the herd is always going, right? There's that 1 or 2% that are doing something different, and keep an open mind, and be the judge yourself. You don't have to listen to the hoopla that some of these celebrity you know because they're running their own company, they have their own agenda, right? So
Right. Yep. All the marketing and all the noise. Yes, sir.
yeah. So just kind of test it out.
Yeah.
I myself would never suggest something if I never did it myself, because I want to make sure it's right for them. So
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Well, Larry, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, find out more about the Abundant Wallet, where would they find you at?
Yeah, so I am on LinkedIn under the Abundant Wallet. You can always go to I have a business page on there. Definitely subscribe to that, and you can see all the cool stuff that we have. I also have a website, just theabundantwallet.com. I am under Instagram as the Abundant Wallet as well. And just one last little plug. I do have my first signature book after my company called the Abundant Wallet, and it should be released in about 5 or 6 weeks from now. And it's just just what we talked about, just kind of where I came from, what I'm doing now, and how I can help people get into that same mindset and that same their next financial level. So.
Awesome. Well, Larry, thanks for being on the show. Look for that book, guys, and have a great week. Remember to like and subscribe here over at Investor Views. And if you have any questions about Investor Fuel, just hit us up. I'm Mike Stansbury for the Real Estate Pros Podcast.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.